Deal with it.
Did you hit the thing on there?
Nope. Thank you very much.
It makes it difficult to have audio if you don't start it.
It's a bit of a production to get this whole thing going. Hello!
And welcome
to the Fleeting Thoughts podcast with Joe Gray and Channing Cornwall. I'm Joe Gray.
And I'm Channing Cornwall.
Oh, Channing Cornwall. How's it going, Channing? How you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you, Joe, for welcoming me on here. I'm having a great time.
Welcome.
Hey, darling.
Are you all right?
You want to go out to the dance with me? You have like Tourette syndrome where that's your tick.
Yeah.
You say a statement.
I have what's called no one's around Tourette's, which is when no one's around, I just start cursing and yelling and screaming. And just, it's weird. Like, nobody's around me. Like, I don't know why it's like that.
I have to, we've been having our windows open lately because it's been really warm the last couple days. But I'm playing Bloodborne now. And then I'm just like...
Screaming?
I get killed by something. I'm like, fuck! Motherfucker!
Yeah.
And then all my windows are open. I'm like, oh, shit. Like,
yeah.
Everybody's going to think that I am like a fucking psychopath or something.
Or you're beating someone.
Or, that I'm beating my wife or something like that. That poor woman over there in that apartment.
Should we call somebody? Oh, gosh. And I hear all these blood-curdling yells and screams.
Well, I can't even get mad at... games, anything anymore, because then my dog, like, her tail just goes between her legs, and then she comes over and tries to comfort me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm but she'll try to do it. Well, like, I'll be like in a boss fight or something in a game or whatever, or just an intense situation. I'm just like fuck. Like, I'm like saying that to myself, and then she's like thinks something's wrong, so she comes over and is like trying to nudge, like
and you're like, God damn it,
like my face, and I'm like trying not to fucking die in the game, and I can't be mad at her because she's just trying to help me, and
you fucking dog. And then
me.
you're mad at the dog.
I know. I have to like really make sure that I don't get mad at her. Like because I like sometimes I just want to be like, just get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
But then I don't.
And then
just
the
like,
dogs.
You just need to go away. That's why I'm glad that Bloodborne has 40-second load times, because it's like my 40 seconds of thank you for trying to comfort me and da 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 da.
Did you time it?
I haven't timed it.
You're just guessing.
I mean, I've seen videos where it is timed, actually, where it took like 45 seconds one time.
Yeah. Oh my god, 45 fucking seconds?
Oh my god.
I don't have time for this. Anyway, we can't get into Bloodborne.
I know,
because we're going to talk about that. Yeah, so shut up about Bloodborne. We are going to do a part 2 of this podcast. So episode 26, part 2 will be full half an hour-ish
of
Bloodborne talk and conversation. So stick around for part 2 if you're interested in that. Part 1, we will produce. We'll produce.
Refraining from talking about Bloodborne for.
Yeah. We're just gonna sit here in silence because we just want to get to the.
Is it half an hour up yet? I'm curious.
I do have a timer going, and I should be doing that every time because the stupid camcorder doesn't know how to record more than 35 minutes or so at a time. I don't really understand that. They sort of force you to edit it. I think it's a storage capacity thing, something like that.
Maybe they just assume you want your file size is a certain size. Just like, nah, you don't want
probably
more than like 100 megabytes or however much, I don't fucking know. 300
it's
megabytes.
Like 3 or 4 gigs or something because it's in HD. So yeah, nothing but the best for this fucking podcast. Have you not noticed the intense amount of fucking equipment
I know
that I've gotten into?
We're always expanding and making it better, and yada yada.
All for the benefit of the 20 some odd people who enjoy this.
Still at 20? Maybe we're at like 30 now. Who knows?
Nope, I check every time, and we're not quite there. But it's still good. We still got a following. And there's actually somebody on YouTube. He keeps on giving us comments.
Oh, cool.
Somebody I've never met, and they were like, "Hey, we want to see your face while you're doing it on YouTube," and so I adjusted it for that. So yeah, some randos are randos. Yeah. And I just wanted to thank everybody. I mean, we've been doing this for almost half a year. We've got 20. This is our 26th episode.
Nice.
So yeah, it's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I'm still enjoying it and enjoying.
That's far. We're almost like a full season into a TV series, so.
20.
I guess it would be like a full season.
That'd be like
most
2.
Like 22.
If it was like a 45-minute episode, like we usually do, about an hour, that'd be like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Whoa. Anyway, so anything going on with you that you wanted to chat about specifically?
Not really. I mean, I just got a new job, so
I was going to ask.
I've just been kind of focusing on that and getting ready. I have to go. This is my last week in my current job, and then I'll be moving on to another position that's higher up with a pretty fat raise. So I'm just kind of I had to go through like a gauntlet of 4 interviews and a whole bunch of stuff. It was a very thorough process.
Yeah,
it was actually kind of fun. I've never been so aggressive in interviews before. I was just like, it was like the first time where I really prepared and thought of questions to ask and like where I wanted to know. Because this is the first time I've applied for a job and kind of gone for one that could easily just be a career. Like I could really just do it for the rest of my life probably if I wanted to. Whereas most jobs I've always had, it's always been like a stepping stone to something higher. And now I'm at that higher stage essentially. And so I went through this gauntlet of interviews. I was very prepared. I was very aggressive. They were like the best interviews I've ever done. It was one of those situations where I would, after the interview was over and I was walking away, I was like, I fucking killed that interview. Like that, I did such a good job. Like I could not have done any better than I did. So to get the job, it was fucking awesome. And so I just been preparing for that, and I'm supposed to get like an itinerary and some other information tomorrow, and go through training and all that good stuff. So that's kind of been a big thing going on with me. I also finished my latest novel on my anniversary, actually the 26th of February. I might have said that in another episode. I don't know. So In Romantic Dreams, which is what it's called, is done, and I've actually already finished the first round of edits. It took me a few weeks, and now my wife, who is my second editor, is she just printed it off, and she's gonna start tearing into it here shortly.
Yeah,
she's my hardcore grammar critique. She knows more about grammar than I do, I think, somehow.
Probably from editing all your books.
Probably. Yeah, she's edited every single one of them. So
that's very nice of her.
Yeah. Well, I give her credit for it too, as an editor on when I publish them and stuff. So that's how the world will know her, as the editor of my work. Yeah.
Well, hopefully she might make a name for herself. Yeah. Other than in your shadow.
She just gets an editing job somewhere. Like, you've edited like a dozen novels. Like,
not a bad idea. I think you can get some. That's a pretty cool job if you're with a fairly large company. You could edit for professionally. So
that's been.
So when is that going to be published? Do you have any ETA on that?
I don't know. It depends on how long it takes her to go through it. It usually takes her about a few weeks too. Yeah, because you gotta. It's not you. As much as you just want to read it and enjoy it, you have to go very slowly.
Yeah,
and for my first round edits, it's obviously simple grammatical errors, or inevitably you just didn't put a word in there because your brain just kind of molds it all together when you're writing, and so you skip over A's and does and things like that. Yeah. So it's finding those and adding them in and doing grammatical fixes, and then continuity is a big thing where I sometimes my ideas or the plot changed from the beginning, and so things that I had stated in the beginning are no longer true by the end, and so I had to make sure I go through and fix all that. There was a huge timeline thing I had to fix in this one where I had sped up the timeline of a bunch of events by 8 years versus the 10 years I had originally planned. So I had to go through and fix dates and times and stuff like that. And then I just look at my sentence structure a lot, and I end up rewording a lot of sentences or just deleting out. I usually try to cut 10% of my word count out. So this one, it was I don't think I got quite that much, because it was about 62,000 words when I was done with it, and I got it down to almost 57,000 just through, because there's just a lot of meaningless sentences where it's just redundant to what you just said or wrote, or you just put extra words in there. A lot of ly words are very unnecessary. He said sheepishly, you just say he said. You don't use sheepishly, it doesn't matter. Well, every once in a while you can throw it in there if you're really trying to get a point across, but if your dialogue's really good, then people should just know how they're saying it through the dialogue and interaction. But it's so easy just to write that in there when you're writing it,
because in your head you're thinking about the emotion that the character's going through, but when a reader reads it blank, they infer it. So that makes sense.
And so so when you're writing it,
more like a note.
It's so easy to add a lot of extra tack on crap like that. And so I always, like I said, I always try to cut about 10% of my words out. So I was trying to cut at least 6,000 words out, which I got pretty close. So,
so how long is 57,000 words? How many pages? Because nobody actually thinks about books.
I think as far as print length, it's probably around 300 pages, I would say.
Oh, wow. Okay. So standard novel.
250 to 300, A standard novel is what's considered lowest like baseline word count for a novel is 50,000 words. So so it's
But I mean,
7,000,
still,
8,000
there's
more than
still
that,
lots
so.
of novels out there that are probably around there.
Oh yeah, I've
less.
seen novels that are probably like 30,000.
Yeah.
At that point they're technically like novellas, but I think that people are
gives
just
a
like,
fuck what
yeah,
they're
it's like,
called?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, throw an extra L and A on. It doesn't
It's a
matter.
book. Gotta read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like my goal for it actually was 60,000. So I hit the goal, and then I went over a little bit, but now I'm a little bit under. So I'm happy
Nice.
with that.
No, that's great. So when that is available, where will people be able to get it or get your current works
You
of
can
art?
you can get all my current stuff on Amazon. You can just look up Channing Cornwall. It'll pull up my author page. I have
Like 7 things on there.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
I kind of lost track actually. There's a lot on there. And then it'll be available on there once I'm done with it. My wife will do her editing round, and then I'll probably do one last editing round just to try to clean it up.
Do you set the price on that? Mm-hmm. How much are you gonna do? Like $3?
I do like $2.99.
$2.99.
$3. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
super
well-known
reasonable.
authors. I mean, if you were gonna buy like
Maybe
a Stephen
10,
King book or something, they're usually
30.
around 10, sometimes 12.
Oh my god!
But they do a lot of
$12?
for
a
book. They do a lot of sales too, though. There's a lot of books that I've purchased on there that they'll just do like a Kindle sale where it's like 50% off or something.
Yeah.
And so I figured if I just do like $3, I mean, that way people, it's a decent amount, but people feel like they could take a gamble on it and without taking a loss. Like if I was trying to charge $10 for everything, I think that people would probably be afraid to buy it. But if I get super popular,
Oh, yeah,
maybe
you don't
one
wanna
day-
charge too
Yeah,
much.
I don't care about making that money off it. I'd rather people just read it. Like,
Yeah, it's your art.
Yeah.
You want people to check it out, and then if people like it, you can get more interest and get paid more to write and stuff. But yeah, just why I brought it up. I just want people to know about it and know that it's super reasonable and they're really good books. And so if you like fiction, then you can get a cheap book and support a local writer.
yeah.
So do it.
Do it.
Or don't. Fuck you. Sorry. I like to have a good beginning, middle, and end to my pitches.
Everything.
So don't, baby,
pitch.
I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's awesome. But anyway, about your new job, that is a very interesting thing for me too, because we've worked together for almost
years,
5 years, I think, close to 5 years. You were hired on just like 6 months after me, and I think I was already I think I was still a key holder at some point, and then I became the assistant manager and then the store manager.
I think you got hired on as assistant manager. I'm pretty sure.
I was assistant manager within a couple weeks, because I'm just super experienced and skilled. Because I'm
Fair
Jewish.
enough. Yeah, I know.
I'm Jewish, and so they I really
lots of profits in
Yeah.
the store.
I was like, obviously you want me here because I'm Jewy.
And I'm kind of short. I got a beard. I'm kind of intimidating with my beard, so people will. buy
People
things from
find me intimidating. I think that compensation from me being bullied as a child because I'm short.
Maybe, yeah. You're just very.
So now I'm just kind of
firm
like
with people.
I'm very I'm stern, and I'm kind of like my dad. He's very fucking chip on his shoulder, kind of stern, and not. He kind of has a face that looks like I don't look happy most of the time, and my mom does the same
Probably
thing.
not bother me.
It's funny how just your like resting state can look a certain way, and my
Yeah.
resting state tends to look pensive, like maybe I hate someone right now or not. But anyway, so yeah, I'm both happy and sad to see you leave.
it is a bittersweet.
It is.
situation.
It's oddly awesome, and yet it makes me do a lot more work. And so I'm not a big fan of that. But it'll be awesome for you, and it'll be nice to have you finally be, kind of at least making the money that you deserve, and be kind of on the same level as me, because we've essentially been co-running a store for at least the last 2 years. I'd say we've been pretty much just doing it together. Like,
Yeah.
I have never really felt like I mean, maybe I should have, and maybe I should have took a bigger role in like kind of acting like a boss or something, or pushing you a little further or whatever. But I don't know what the perspective is from your end, but Yeah, it's really cool. I think you're going to like being a store manager. I think you're going to it's definitely different than being an assistant. Just as far as like communication with corporate office, with responsibility, with expectations. And if you're kind of interested in doing a really good job, like if you're somewhat of a perfectionist or just proud of your hard work and stuff, it's going to add to all of that. You're going to have lots of stressful fucking stuff to do, and I get super stressed out, at least.
No, I don't doubt it. No, I definitely want to go into it to do a good job, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's not just like money, it's like, also you want to do a good job and kind of be proud of your work. And I'm
just excited to like have a store that's like my own, and that way I can just like kick ass and then like really gloat about it. And so I'm excited. It's I feel like I'm very prepared for it in that I do so much where I am now that like I took so many extra steps. I feel like I do a lot more than probably a lot of other assistant managers do. I know you do. Yeah, and I did it on purpose so that when this time came, that I could just step right in. Like I didn't have to worry about it. So
it's funny because about a year ago, I think we both were kind of like a little bit fed up with our positions, and we'd been doing it for a while. And then I think starting at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, at least for me, I kind of reevaluated what I was doing, and I kind of was like, I'm here for a reason, and this is where I'm at. I need to take it seriously and do a good job, even if this isn't where I'm going to end up permanently. Why am I so like disconnected from what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And then I think I kind of reconnected with that, with all the changes that I've been making in the last year, and really trying to take responsibility for my life in general. And so, being able to really take a proactive step in my career in general, you know, to do a good job so that I have a good reference if I want to do something else or run a different store. And then I think you've kind of done the same thing, where we both kind of like around the same time kind of stepped it up a notch.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like we're pushing it a lot further and trying to get, you know, people to work a little bit harder, and really understand, you know, that it's about, you know, doing a good job for the sake of being, you know, a good worker or whatever, you know, doing your job right, as opposed to like, oh, you know, all this complaining and like, it's like bullshit, you know, whatever. I'm here because I want to be, so why not act like it?
Forcing you to stay there. But I think it's really easy to fall into like kind of like a complacency rut where you've just kind of been doing the same thing for so long. And then you're almost just kind of like on this weird autopilot thing where you're just like, oh, it's fucking another day. I'm just going to do all this. But I feel like when you kind of step outside the box and like just think about it and look at the things that you don't like or why you don't like them, it kind of gives you a different perspective on like what you can do to really get yourself into it. And I feel like really embracing your job and just like wanting to do a good job, you're going to be a lot happier there. Obviously, like, money is important, but if you don't kind of enjoy it, then you know there's not really much of a point to it. You will just be kind of complaining the whole time and grumpy. And
I think one of my problems was I wasn't feeling appreciated, but it wasn't anyone's fault, but my own expectation and like perception. Like, I don't need other people's permission to do a good job. I don't need their constant approval. I don't need their slaps on the back. Like, I know when I do a good job and I know when I fail, and I can admit either one. So I just need to be proud when I do a good job and take note of the things that I'm doing well, and then progress to learning and doing new things. So before I was like kind of annoyed that I wasn't like somehow better or like on this pedestal or something, and people were appreciating me. But now I'm like, that's retarded. I haven't even done that much. I haven't fucking accomplished that much that I should be like adored or anything like that. So now I'm just like, well, what can I do to get some more appreciation? What can I do to be noticed? What can I do to show that I am interested in doing a good job for and being valuable to my employer? And that's kind of where I've been at in the last little while. And it's been a lot less stressful and a lot more engaging. And I still get complacent, you know, because we're slow sometimes, and that makes it tough to be proactive.
Well, I think it's just natural when you're doing the, you know, you essentially are doing the same thing every day. So I feel like it's natural to just complain. I mean, complaining is healthy and that you're kind of just letting all that out, like all the
you gotta
like angst that you have. So I mean, you definitely are gonna always complain here and there, and then you will have those days where you're just like, and I've gotten really good at recognizing the days where I'm just like, I fucking don't want to be here. So you just kind of grin and bear it and just get through the day. And usually I know that like the next day I'll probably be fine. I'm just having an off day or something.
I think you're going to do a lot better because where you're going is going to be a lot busier. You're not going to have any time to sit and stew. Because the best thing for me when I'm stewing about anything is to have a line of people in front of me,
can't think about
because then I just have to go person by person and stop my internal bullshit monologue and just help people and pretend that I'm really happy. And then the more you kind of stop thinking negative stuff, the more you actually are happy. You actually are like, oh, I totally forgot why I was mad or frustrated. I just had a good interaction with a customer and now I can move along. And it really, really helps to get a little bit busier, where if you're frustrated and you're slow, it sucks. I wanted to ask you as well, is this like, how excited are you to, like, do you think this will be a career thing, or is this just another step that just is new and exciting and who knows where it'll lead?
I think that it's kind of like a career opportunity. I think at least for the next handful of years, probably. It's tough to say, I guess, until I'm like in there doing it, because it could be something that I really just end up not liking for some reason. But I feel confident that I will. I mean, it's just another retail job, so retail is retail. I mean, I will sell different products. I'll have probably a completely different customer base, I'm sure. But I think that I'll probably stick with it for a long time, and maybe, I mean, it could become a career. I mean, if there's if an opening comes up even higher that I could hop into. I also think that it's for me, it puts me in a respectable enough position where I feel comfortable, like in a kind of a society standing. Like, I run my own store. It's like something I can kind of be proud of when people ask me what I do. It's not that I don't
it's different than saying I work here. I'm the store manager.
I run this store here.
It's different.
And so I think that you get like a kind of a bit of pride out of it. And so I think when you're kind of proud of your job and like sharing that with other people, it makes it more enjoyable too, instead of just being like, oh, I clerk at Walmart, or which, who cares what you do? You're being productive. But, people, anybody is just they don't want to talk about that. I mean, I think that there's just like that sociological norm that there's a certain jobs that people look down on. And so you're not excited to tell people about your experiences at McDonald's or something.
Especially when you get older, it becomes a lot more kind of demeaning to be like, I mean, not... It doesn't have to be, but...
No, it doesn't. That's what I mean. It's a tough thing.
I expect myself to accomplish a certain thing based on my experiences and my education. I went to college. I kind of have to be a certain value in society as far as economically. And I also come from a family where people are pretty successful, and my mom especially is super duper successful. Successful. You know that thing when people are successful. So I have a lot of pressure on myself. So, and then, being able to be, so it's funny, like what you're saying is like, you're kind of at a certain point, you're making a certain amount of money, and you can tell people, and you have a certain amount of benefits, and it really is kind of like the beginning of like, you could like be much more independent and maybe start a family or own a house or something big. But what's funny is that I look at like people my age, and if I see anyone that's my age making more money than me, I feel shitty. But then when I see people my age that make around the same much or less, I feel okay.
There's way more people making a lot less, I think, than there are more.
I think there are, but they don't talk about it. So I hear about.
They're not going to go about.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like people don't want to talk about their shitty job that they aren't proud of. So.
Or people don't generally talk about their income in general. So and I don't. So,
but I agree with you in the sense that I have a very high expectation of myself, and so now I feel like I finally got into something where I feel comfortable with myself. Finally, like I got to this.
It's an achievement.
This point, like I run this place. It's mine, and like I'm happy and I'm excited to do it. So.
And it gives you a stepping stone. Let's say you don't really like the products, or you don't like the customer base. You would do it for a year or two, and then you're at a position where you have a great thing on your resume where
Yeah.
you ran a store, you did budgets, you did scheduling, you did P&Ls, you know, you have a good business acumen that you can progress to other things. And everything in the economy is business. It's all about money in and out. And so it's huge as far as experience goes, as opposed to just, oh, I was an assistant for like 10 years and never made it anywhere else.
Yeah, because then their question is, well, why did you never? Like, why did you spend 10 years?
Yeah,
in that
and that could
position?
be because your boss is not giving you opportunities, you're not developing, or you're not into it, or whatever. But they don't care.
Yeah.
Nobody cares what your reasons for not doing something are. I think it was like the first night I actually was proved to be a store manager. I think that night I went home and like I don't know if I cried, but I was so proud of myself and so happy because I had been wanting that position for a long time. I was really sick of being underneath someone like a store manager, because I've been a manager since I'm 19, and so I've always had a boss that was like kind of seemed to me like I could easily do a good job at what they do or better. Like I've had a few bosses that were fucking horrible, and so finally being at the top of the store was a huge accomplishment, and I was super proud. And I think I went home and cried, and I was just like, it was very like it was like a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't cry because I was sad. I was crying. I literally was just super emotional about it, and I didn't expect that. You know, I just thought, because I was super excited going into it, and then I got it, and I'm like, oh my god, I really did this, and it was kind of all on my own and stuff, and. So I just wanted to share that. Really,
I think it's a little bit kind of surreal.
Well,
for
you're
me
gonna
still. Like,
feel
I
that
haven't,
later.
Like I haven't felt it yet, but I think that come Friday,
once you get into the store,
when I'm turning my keys in and I'm like
Yeah.
about to walk out for the last time, I'm just gonna. It's gonna be. I'm just gonna be like, holy.
It's gonna be very.
Fuck, this is really happening.
Yeah.
I think in my mind, I'm just like, oh, I still got like this whole week.
Yeah.
And then. But I think that when I turn the
It'll
keys
hit,
in and then like I'm driving to Salem or wherever to do some training, then it's just gonna like really hit me. So
I think it's awesome because fuck tradition, like fuck complacency. Like you need to change.
Yeah.
I need to have something different going on with me where I can get a new person in and train people and evaluate things differently, and it'll give me something to do, and you're gonna have some new stuff to do. And
Have a
if we
whole
just
bunch of new
kept
stuff.
going,
Yeah.
it would have been good. We would have had a great time.
Yeah.
But this is development. It's good.
And it's I before I even applied, I actually debated a long time not applying at all. I was like, I kind of like where I'm at. I like the people
So
I work
easy to
with.
stay
Like
there.
I could just keep doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I was like, but
what's good for you?
like I gotta at some point I have to like take the next step. I gotta progress. I gotta it's just like fuck. I'm gonna do it. Like
see what happens.
I'll do it. I'll at least maybe get some interviews in, and then I mean after my first interview, I felt pretty confident I had it, and then I did a few more, and I just feel like I did really well each time, and then it just kind of steamrolled into it, and was like, oh, it's happening now. I'm in it now. So I'm just not a big fan of change, I think, and so
Nobody-
it's a huge change, and I'm just like, it's kind of scary, and I was just hesitant, and then I was like, no, I need to do it. Like I gotta like know that I at least tried to take it to the next level, essentially.
Yeah, change is scary, but it's necessary for any type of growth. So I became a store manager. I cried. I was so happy. I was elated. About 6 months in, I was like, oh, I have a boss. I have rules.
You still have a district manager.
I have
a policy.
I still have a district manager, and they're definitely on you, and you have so much more responsibility. I mean, you're hiring and firing human beings who rely on your judgment about their lives. And so it's a lot of responsibility, and you're also dealing with conflict resolution between employees and customers. It's definitely a learning experience, but you've already done that. It's like you're not like I had already been doing that for years before I ever like went into being a store manager. So it's just a different dynamic and different hierarchy of stuff. But congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be interesting.
And you're still in town. You didn't leave, so we can still hang out. We'll still do the podcast.
More to talk about on podcasts.
Yeah,
because we won't see each other.
We might have to extend the timer or do something. Maybe do 2 a week or something.
Either 2 a week or 2 hour episodes.
I'm glad though, because it'll give it as an excuse to hang out more when we get a chance to. We're at about half an hour, and I think we can wrap up this part. Oh, let's do our words.
We got to do words real quick.
So let me do mine real quick.
Fire away.
My word of the week is replete.
Replete.
Yes. You know what that is. I assume that's a pretty...
It's a pretty common one. It's to like use up, right?
It's the opposite. It's filled or...
filled.
Well
replete,
supplied.
yeah, okay.
So
I was thinking delete.
My pants are replete with shit. No, my inventory is replete with cold.
Products?
What are those things called? The cold blood stew dew in Bloodborne. What are they called?
Like the
cold blood dew.
cold blood. Yeah.
Yeah, cold blood dew. Yeah,
Dewy cold blood.
Yeah, I call it Mountain Dew. it seems to make the most sense.
I read something. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I'm not gonna get into it right now.
So yeah, replete, replete, filled or well supplied with something. Use it. It's actually a really cool word. I think somebody was using it.
I've definitely heard it
Mm-hmm.
probably more frequently than any other word that we've thrown at the table. But it is a cool word. It's not used like commonly.
No, not
People
anymore.
aren't walking around and just. My wallet is so replete with bills and dollars, and I'm so excited.
I should probably share that information. My repletedness.
Hey, look how replete my bank account is. Throwing up your phone, with your fucking accounts. I don't know.
Badass.
It's all money related, apparently.
You're into it.
I am.
You're excited about your new fat ass paycheck.
Well, we'll see.
Now you can buy shit. And since you don't have plan
I'm
on
so
having
po.
kids, it's all going to you.
I know. Word for people out there. If you're debating on having kids, just keep in mind that at the poorest base level, it costs like $200,000 to raise a child. So
yeah, $250,000.
Let that maybe soak in.
And you do have to give them attention and love, which is probably the hardest part of that whole situation for you. This is fucking sociopaths. Anyway, what is your word, sir?
My word is Amain.
Amain, like a Main Street?
No, but you could.
Or I got one. It's what's that over there? Oh, that's a Main.
Amain.
Oh, she a Main.
That's my Amain.
Oh, you're my Amain.
It's spelled Amain, so it's literally a
Amain. Yeah. Is it what horses have on their neck?
Well, technically, that they do have a mane on their neck, but not.
So there.
But there's a space in between those two words.
Space.
That's two words, not this one word.
Okay.
But Amain means with full force.
Oh, cool.
So grasping the rough protuberances of the rock, he tugged and toiled amain and got himself quite out of breath. That's an example.
Wow.
I know.
He
protuberances. I like that word.
Yeah,
I should have used that one, right?
Protuberance?
Yeah.
It's like a perturb, like to perturb something.
Yeah.
Is to dislocate it or dislodge it.
They hither march amain under conduct of Lucius, son to old Andronicus.
Oh my god, that sounds like a really old English word.
It's a Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's old English.
It actually says that the word is like an archaic word. I don't think they really use it anymore.
No, I've never heard it.
Don't wear like a term paper and throw that in there. They might try to say that that's not a real word, but
they'll try to say that until they look it up.
Yeah,
if your English teacher doesn't know that, word.
Amain, okay, you can't be making up words.
I think you're a main douchebag. Cool. Well, boom, done.
Boom, shakalaka.
So we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna
Bloodborne conversation.
Bloodborne, all up in it. So let's do that.
If you're ready for some fucking video game nerdiness, it's gonna be great.